Here, I'll tell you guys the going rate, at least in federal prison for phones. $3,000 to $5,000. The maximum amount of money that you can put into your commissary fund, like the amount of money that you can put into your commissary or whatever, especially if you're like a gang leader or whatever, is I think $99,000 a month, which you can also fucking re-up. Let me tell you how people get phones inside of prison though. You can get like a burner phone for $3K. You can get a smartphone for $5K. $5,000. Okay? That's what it takes. How do they bring it in? They have corrupt dudes like this guy. Okay? They got corrupt dudes like this guy. Or, I mean, cool COs that will sneak it in and then sell it to the prisoners. Okay? Or, and this part is really fucking cool, they drop it in with drones, dude. Apparently, one of the ways that people have been fucking doing, like people have been sneaking phones into the prison are flying it with a drone, dude. It is so sick. And of course, the age-old technique, the prison pocket, but I don't think people do the prison pocket as much. How crazy is that?
Percent is gone. Long lived on.
Obama dropping phones instead of bombs? Yeah, Obama phone.
Hi.
Yeah. Anyway, let's take a look. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I got chucked a package into my car, which was yay big, and then I got chucked £400 in rolled up notes. To which point I'm sat in a car then thinking, you know, what have I just done?
Obviously, this is like Oibrow rates though that might be different, and Oibrow prisons are definitely different. So I don't know what the situation is there, but what I was talking about is American federal prison rates. Okay. That's where the going is. Simple as.
What was the training like to become a prison officer?
Looking back on it now, not substantial enough, but it was all engineered around a classroom basically, and learning, you know, via PowerPoint, etc. There's no prisoner facing. There's no environment that you can replicate. When you go onto a wing for the first time and there's 130 young men there, there's nothing that can replicate that. I remember opening the doors to the wing, and all of a sudden, the thing I remember most is the noise. The noise was something else, and to see 120 lads basically running wild, it was breathtaking. I worked primarily in Lancaster Farms, which is a young offender institute in Lancaster, which houses lads from Manchester and Liverpool mainly, and there's a few kind of local lads mixed in, but mainly the big gangs from Manchester and Liverpool, they all come into Lancaster Farms and then they crossfire there. At that point I felt scared. At that point I questioned what I'd done. I didn't let anyone know because at the time the ego and the bravado took over, but yeah, inside I was worried, and I knew I'd made probably not the best decision.
Bravado. Bro, these guys, by the way, straight up rip the other guy who asks people questions like, what the fuck's it called? What was it? We used to watch it all the time on the stream. The, like, they have the same backdrop even. The interviewer guy. Soft white underbelly, yes. Is this propaganda to join this gang, and are you platforming this? Yes. I love gangs. I am a criminal myself, and I'm saying, like, you should join a gang. It's very cool. And do some gang shit. That's what I'm doing. Also, yeah, I mean, technically he is a part of a gang. It's just called, you know, being a cop. Some might say the most successful gang of all, you know?
First 18 months, there was no issues whatsoever. The second period of my employment there, I was drinking heavily, massively. to try and, I don't know, maybe I just couldn't cope with it. You know, the stress was it was horrible. So I think over a period of time, the prisoners would have probably picked up on the fact that I wasn't doing too well. I remember one day I knew this lad's dad was ill, and one of the cleaners came to me and said, "Can you go and have a word with ex-prisoner?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I've gone into the cell, and the lad was in bits, in tears on the bed, saying that he needed to speak to his dad urgently as his dad wasn't well. He's got no phone credit. Please, 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 can you bring me a mobile phone in?
So we've talked about this before, but like, obviously I'm a big advocate for, you know, prisoners' rights. It's like one of the issues that I talk about probably more than any other fucking left-wing political commentator for the most part, because like most people don't give a shit, and especially because most people are Ameri-brained, so they have like American brain rot, and they think if you're a prisoner that means you deserve to be fucking executed immediately. But one of the things that prisoners should absolutely get is phones, okay? Other than, you know, there's numerous other things that we could talk about with respect to like prisoners' rights, obviously, better trade opportunities, you know, no more solitary confinement, no more torture, all that sort of stuff. But most importantly, I think, like, you know, they should be able to have phones. Because people will be like, oh, dude, but what if they start fucking, you know, stealing stuff with the phones? What if they use the phones for fucking drugs, like smuggling drugs? It's like, motherfucker, they already do that without the phones, you know? Anyway, also, yeah, they would do prison TikTok, which is cool. Okay, anyway, let's continue.
To which I've said no. Then get up.
Yes, kill somebody and live your life like usual. I don't know, bitch. Do you think going to prison is chill, even if you have a phone? Like, people always say that. It's like, oh, well, even if you kill someone, you should have your life, live your life like usual. It's like, is it gonna be usual, dude? You step on a Lego and you think that's like endless amounts of pain. Imagine being fucking locked up in solitary confinement for the rest of your life. Like, we shouldn't torture people that did crimes, no matter how fucking violent, okay? I know that makes you feel good in your mind, but like, that's not how you achieve any sort of serious success. If your goal is not to mistreat people, if your goal is ultimately to actually stop them from doing these sorts of crimes, yes, originally as a deterrent measure, but more importantly than a deterrent measure, a way to, you know, take you out of society, especially if you have like violent urges or anything like that. But having said that, ultimately, the ultimate goal is rehabilitation. The ultimate goal is justice, and vengeance is not justice. Okay, having a vindictive, draconian attitude towards people who have done crimes is the reason why America has, you know, 25% of the world's incarcerated population. Freest country on the planet, by the way. Anyway, humane treatment is absolutely the goal in prisons, but we will never get there because I'll tell you this much. Advocating for prisoners' rights, okay, advocating for prisoners' rights in America is like being the Japanese politician that wants to, you know, uncensored dick in Japanese porn, okay? Like, it doesn't make sense to censor the dick. It's actually a good cause, but nobody's gonna be the one who champions it, okay? It makes total sense. Why the fuck is Japanese adult videos like still censored, you know? Nobody wants it, but who's gonna be the politician that uncensors it? No one. And the same goes for prisoners. Like, it's the right thing to do. It's the just thing to do. It's actually the successful thing to do. But no politician's gonna champion prisoners' rights. One, because they can't fucking vote. Even when they get out of prison, they can't vote. And two, Americans think prisoners are just crazy and should be fucking murdered on the spot. Like, they don't see people as like human beings that fucked up. Anyway, let's continue.
Got off for my dinner. What I should have done at that point is reported that to the prison, but I didn't. I just kept it in my head. Went off to play football at dinner, came back, and same again, unlock. All the prisoners go off the wing to work, to education, to do what.
This is your worst take I've ever heard. Mass shooters and murderers doing TikTok dances and going viral seems a bit triggering for the victims. Wait, the victims of murder? Don't worry, bro. The victims of murder won't see the TikToks, okay? I know, I'm fucking with you.
9 months. We could have made a baby. Hungry face.
Listen. All jokes aside, there's limitations to it, right? Like, obviously, if you're fucking, you know, if you're Anders Breivik, like, you're not gonna have access to a phone immediately, okay? You have to show that you are worthy of being able to get a phone. You have to show that you are doing things to be rehabilitated, okay? But like, I love that people's minds immediately go to like, fucking a Boston Marathon bomber. Really? Like, you want him to have a phone and like look hot and like start doing TikTok dances? What the fuck? It's like, yeah, dude. We house 25% of the world's incarcerated population and everyone is the Boston Marathon bomber. You know what I mean? Like, Americans are so fucking brain dead. Like, they literally will go, oh yeah? Oh yeah, dude? You think prisoners should have fucking phones? Well, what about this guy that killed 700 people? Like, you want him to have a phone? It's like, no, but I do think he should be able to vote. What's he gonna vote for? Doing more Boston Marathon bombings? Like what? One guy. Like... Anyway, and most people don't realize that like that attitude is the same one that that face when you're a ghost watching your murderer do TikTok dances. The phone thing is like one part of it, you know? The phone thing is like only one part of like the humane treatment, okay? The humane treatment that prisoners should be receiving. I blame the American Jesus for the brain rot. It started there and evolved to iPhone.
15 months to see Let's Go Hassle.
How do you vote for doing more bombings? What party has that? Both parties, brother. It's just not here. Technically, if you vote for either of the imperialist, bourgeois parties, you're voting for more bombing overseas. Okay, let's continue.
Whatever. And the same instance again, that it's still in tears. Please, will you bring me a mobile phone in? Now, this has been on my mind all dinner time. And he said to me, as I was sat on the end of the bed to him, I'll give you £400 to bring me one mobile phone in.
15-month TTS. That jacket is straight up.
And I don't know why at that point I walked out of the cell. Again, didn't tell anyone. Didn't say anything to him, I just walked out.
For the record, the reason why we have our current prison system is not because like you're a dumbass for getting caught up in the American propaganda and thinking like every prisoner is a rapist murderer who deserves to be beheaded. Okay? But like, I don't fault you for it, kind of. I mean, I just said you're a dumbass, but I kind of don't fault you for it because it's impossible not to feel that way if you have Amera brain rot, right? Okay, so that's one. That's one. And two, the real reason why we have a criminal justice system that operates the way it does is so that we can have slaves. Like, that's it. It's not because like it's not because like there's some genuine fucking interest in like operating in a vengeful capacity to like stop further crimes from occurring. Like, that's not the reason. It's just to have slaves, like, straight up. And you're a fucking dummy if you don't recognize it, especially as a leftist. It's literally just one way to like legally have own slaves.
To put myself out there to start screaming a year ago.
Explain. Well, technically, slavery is not abolished in the United States of America. There is, look at the 13th Amendment, you can still be enslaved as a punishment for crime, right? And that's precisely why under coercive conditions within the prison structure. Most work opportunities pay you literally just a fucking penny, like just a ridiculous amount of money just to be like, oh, it's technically not slavery because we're giving you a little bit of money. And then they make you fucking make license plates or, I don't know, work outdoors. And the prison conditions are so fucking awful that, like, prisoners actually like the fucking outdoor slave labor. Like, they do. The reason why they like the outdoor slave labor is because, like, at least they're not fucking trapped indoors. That's how bad the fucking prison conditions are, where they prefer slavery over to the fucking other side, over to the carceral system. Better than being in a cell. So, you know, roadside litter pickup, making fucking license plates, all this shit. So, yeah, they get paid fucking 10 cents or nothing, like close to nothing. And it's, I mean, they do firefighting in California. And that's pretty fucking gnarly too. And in a lot of instances, they don't even let them fucking join they do not let them join the actual fire department after they're fucking done with their prison sentence, which is insane. Yeah, California loves enslaving prisoners and making them do firefighting, and then, you know, training them, making them do firefighting, and then turning around and not hiring them for the fire departments. That only recently changed. In California, prisoners can become firefighters depending on their crimes now, but before they were not allowed.
The brick factory has.
Women in Arizona State Prison would have to work 27 hours just to get a box of tampons. They have to buy their own fucking tampons, and they have to work 27 hours to get just a box of tampons. How crazy is that? This is all true. People in chat saying it's not true. Literally don't know anyone in prison. Dumb as fuck. Yeah. Think about that for a second. Prisoners prefer slavery to the conditions because of how torturous it is. Otherwise, if they're like, yeah, I'll do yard work. Like, that shit's better, honestly. Like, that's fucked up, dude. That's how cruel and unusual the American criminal justice system is. Anyway. Arizona State Prison, Mr. Unchained. Yeah, Biscuit Oliva works there in this Arizona State Prison. It looks like the Pentagon. So, like I was saying, dude, this shit is really fucked up. I mean, this guy's a bit of a dweeb and, like, really sad. Like, he's got the alcoholic face, so I don't know. He's not very compelling talking about this shit. But, you know, I'm using it as a jump-off point to just, like, talk more about prisoners' rights, as I often do.
Following his dreams and becoming the fourth musketeer.
Doesn't the LASD actually have gangs like the Vikings or something? No, you're talking about the LA Sheriff's... Yeah, LA Sheriff's Department has actual gangs with, like, ceremonies to become... High right now? A little bit. Can you?
3 years, maybe. Let's go.
Is prison as bad as Green Dolphin Street Prison? Okay, JoJo fans, fucking chill, okay? Fucking, how about you fucking dial it back for a second, okay? Yeah, no, they're not. Yeah, it's like the Florida State Penitentiary in JoJo, dude. Yeah, Green Dolphin Street Prison, where, you know, everyone has a satandu. People have satandus, and they fight each other all the time.
Basketball god cat.
Show them in Angola's labor camp or any of the shit going down in Louisiana, get people shackled in the governor's mansion. Yeah. Angola loves its slave labor. Like, they just straight up say it, too. Remember when that sheriff in Louisiana was like, yeah, I love slaves. This is fucking great. We can't stop prison labor. We need our slaves. We love them. It's good. Real good. So, you know, they just say it. I mean, Hillary Clinton said it. Hillary Clinton quite literally wrote in her book about how she loved having slaves in the Arkansas governor's mansion. You know, do yard work. So I served my time in the Green Dolphin Street prison. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemies. Okay, please stop. You fucking weebs. They're such children.
And he asked me again. And I don't know why, but I said yeah. I was then passed a mobile phone number on a little piece of paper and told to ring the number when I left work.
Bro, this shit is so boring, dude. I'm sorry. I just like, come on,
worried at that point. He said, can you step in here a minute?
Actually, I'm gonna fucking quit this. I'm not watching this. It's just bad. It's not good. It's so boring. Sorry. I think it's more interesting to like talk about the situation rather than this guy being like, yeah, I sold them phones. I sold them fucking phones. Yeah, it was crazy. I agree with your take in treating prisoners humanely, but I think we should get more safety nets so people don't become forced and desperate enough to resort to crime in order to live. Is this a bad take? No, of course not. What? Yeah, obviously. Most crimes are a consequence of the material conditions that people are subjected to. That's why they resort to crime. Okay? Just like people resort to the top of the hour ad break in the middle of the hour when they least expect it because it's no longer at the top, it's in the middle because I started at 11:30, you know? They resort to subscribing with a Twitch Prime for free, or they resort to subscribing for $5 because not everyone is lucky enough to be able to fucking, you know, get a gifted a sub. Some people are, but some people are not. Okay? So they make their own luck. How do they make their own luck? They pick themselves up by their bootstraps. And they fucking subscribe for $5. I think a lot of people have a negative opinion about improving the quality of life in prison because their own needs aren't being met and it feels fucked up that someone could have it better in prison. They can't. They physically cannot have it better in prison. That will never happen. They are still in prison, no matter what. Yeah, it's middle of the hour time. Anyway. Some worrying comments from people. I don't have any. I already did my Ukraine coverage. Just said, don't do it. Don't invade the Ukraine, sir. Don't you do it. Here's the woman ad break now, by the way. Also, thank you, Stained Glass Girl, for the 10 gifted, and thank you, Grayson Gregory, for the 5 gifted. Here's the woman ad break now. Thank you, Cool is Not Eric, for the 5 gifted as well. So. In any meaningful capacity, but they lose their shit, you know what I mean? They lose their shit over it and they talk about it like as though it's the most pressing matter. Like if you don't want like serious agitation, if you don't want like serious issues in Ukraine, then like stop giving them fucking guns, okay? Stop giving Ukraine guns, which is what the American government is doing. And also on top of that, stop trying to get him to fucking join NATO, you know? Like I don't know what else to say about it. Like but Americans, or at least the American State Department, doesn't give a shit. They want to agitate Russia, and Russia in and of itself is nothing. They're bitch made. They got nothing. They got nothing. Okay, dude, you are totally off with this. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And even if you're Ukrainian, you're a dumb bitch if you think that America is actually on your fucking side. Okay. Ask the Kurds. Like literally, look at what they did to the Kurds. America just uses supposed fucking, you know, anti-authoritarian forces as a cudgel, as a weapon, okay, for like a brief moment, and then they throw it down like the fucking Woody meme. I don't want to play with you no more. And then you just get fucking rolled, okay? You can say it's insane all you fucking want, but it's just the truth, okay? You're stupid. Like what do? You come in here and you learn about how America fucking fought against the USSR by literally beefing up the Mujahideen, like, and how that led to the collapse in Afghanistan, and how that led to, quite literally led to 9/11. And you celebrate, and you celebrate knowing that reality that other people don't know about, okay? You make jokes about it, you fucking meme about it, but then you turn around and when it's happening right in front of your eyes in Ukraine, you're like, no, that's actually good. You're a dumbass. you are a dumbass. Just like every other American is a dumbass. You think you're smarter because in your mind you have like this empathetic point of view. You think like, oh no, I empathize with the people of Ukraine. Like, we should arm them. We should give them guns and they should fight back against the Russian forces. It's like, you know, they have a pretty big military. They have a pretty solid military. Like, they should be the first fucking line of defense against Russia. And it's like, no, dude, how do you not realize that we're doing the same shit, but in Ukraine now, that we were doing in fucking Afghanistan and everywhere else? So it's so funny when you're like, oh man, I have the benefit of hindsight. I have the benefit of hindsight. I have the benefit of knowledge on all these complex geopolitical conditions when we're covering it fucking 30, 40 years prior and how it impacts like contemporary society. Okay? But you don't know how to apply it to the shit that's happening in front of you. What's wrong with you, man? What the fuck? Think about it. Think. You think Ukraine wants to fight a war? No, they don't. That's the other part of it. They don't. They don't. Look, Ukrainian people do not want to fucking fight against the Russian government. The Russian government does not want to fucking fight. It's in no one's interest. But there are people here that I don't know if you're like a fucking dick skin lanyard shithead that lives in fucking DC or something, or you're working I don't know, for the State Department or something, but you're just like, you're literally like, come on, bro, let's get a good war in. Let's get a good war in. Don't worry, it's not gonna happen. Joe Biden's not gonna do it. They're just fucking agitating you in the media for it, okay? And they're gonna keep pumping you. They're gonna keep pumping you and gassing you until you're like, yo, let's go. We gotta liberate Ukraine, brother. Yeah. Meanwhile, you live in fucking West Virginia. Why the fuck do you care about Ukraine or Russia, okay? No, you're just told you need to care about it. Yeah, the original chatter literally said, I've seen 30 Western media stories about it. Exactly, that's why. That's why you care about it. Okay? Do I think it's okay for Russia to go in and fucking, you know, do a full wipe? Which they're not gonna do. But do I think it's okay for, like, Vladimir Putin to be like, yeah, we're taking over Ukraine? No, of course not. They shouldn't. Okay? What can I do about it? Nothing. Don't do it. Okay? Don't you do it here. I'm wagging my fucking finger. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, because if you ask Vladimir Putin, he says, I'm not going to do it. It's not in my interest. If you ask the Ukrainian people, they say, well, it's not in our interest. I hope it doesn't happen. Vladimir Putin says, I don't want to do it as long as, you know, you're not fucking forcing Ukraine to join the NATO, or you're not giving Ukraine weapons to fight against or push back against, like, you know, the Russian forces that aren't even there yet. Okay? And then Joe Biden turns around and says, we're not going to invade. We're not going to invade, Jack. We're not going to fight back, Jack.
Hope you enjoyed your basketball stream.
Even if Vladimir Putin goes in there, we're not going to fight back. And then he doubles down, or instead of doubling down, he immediately corrects the record. Jen Psaki comes in the next day and says, actually, that's not true. We will fuck up Russia if they, you know, put boots on the ground military warfare. What does shit take? Everything I've said so far is descriptive. Everything I've described to you so far is just an accurate assessment of what's going on, okay? Vladimir Putin did claim in the talks that they had that they have no interest in invading Ukraine, okay? That they have no interest in invading Ukraine. They simply just don't want America to keep agitating Ukraine. They do not want America to keep arming Ukrainian soldiers, and also saying that they're not interested in invading Ukraine as long as Ukraine doesn't become a part of NATO. Joe Biden's like, no, fuck that. Ukraine should be a part of NATO, okay? And, well, technically Joe Biden didn't say that, to be fair. Joe Biden has said both of those things. He's both said Ukraine can become a part of NATO if they want to, and also Ukraine won't become a part of NATO. Don't worry about it. But Joe Biden has also said, we will never fucking, you know, do boots on the ground military warfare even if Russia invades, okay, Ukraine. And then he actually did say, I don't know why Hasan just believes Putin. I don't. But the difference between me and you is that, like, you, for some weird reason, believe the American State Department. I don't believe Putin as much as I don't believe the American State Department. That's the difference. I just look to the genuine interest that people have in the region, okay? It's so strange when people are like, why do you take Putin at his at face value? Of course I don't, dude. He's fucking KGB Andy. You guys are so stupid. But that's precisely why I'm just, yeah, they're gonna fucking do the same shit with China, Taiwan too. That's precisely why I'm saying, like, there's nothing you and I can do except get fucking mad and like eat popcorn and watch like a supposed war happen, okay? Sorry. Hasan is so gullible. Yeah, dude, you on the other hand, wait, let me read this. Let me read this. Let me read some of your non-gullible takes, dude, okay? What a shit take. Accurate in what sense? Russia already has soldier stations on the Ukraine border. Hasan is so gullible. It's okay to exploiting people when it doesn't harm them, lol W. Dude, you on the other hand, man, you are so good. Imagine China, Taiwan is #1. Imagine defending China, lol W. A second explosion heard in Kabul. This guy quite literally only comes in here whenever I'm talking about fucking foreign policy and exclusively takes the American State Department position on every issue, I think. Which is very cool. Thank you for not being gullible. You know, see you in 25 years when we talk about how maybe it wasn't the best idea to do what we did. You know? Except you won't learn then either. You'll just like... Because the goal is not about like the actual fucking... The goal is never about like the actual things that are going on. In the end, you can... That's the reason why CIA declassifies shit 20 years, 30 years later. They'll declassify it and they'll be like, oopsie, yeah, we did do that. Remember that thing that we said was a conspiracy theory? Actually, it wasn't a fucking conspiracy theory. We quite literally did that. Oopsie. What are you gonna do about it? 25 years later, it's declassified, right? But it doesn't matter. Even in the process of declassifying that information, they're continuing to say it's a conspiracy theory. The exact same shit that they're doing right now. I normally side with you, Hasan, but I really disagree this time. Yeah, you disagree because you're an empathetic individual. You disagree because you are a liberal. You disagree because ultimately American liberalism is very powerful. It's very good at like, you know, tugging at your heartstrings to make you feel like American imperialism is the only way to fight against like Russian imperialism. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's like Russian imperialism. It's true. That's what Russia is trying to do. They're trying to protect their regional authority, their regional security, right? Their autonomy in the region. They are a regional leader. That's what big countries do. Okay? Straight up. And it's not okay. But America should have no business in trying to fight back against that. And the only reason why America has a business in fighting back against that is straight up so they can, you know, keep selling guns and keep dominating the world and keep fucking prodding back against other countries that also want to become, you know, global competitors, which they will never become global competitors. And the reason why they'll never become global competitors is because like Russia's bitch made, you know what I mean? Maybe if the fucking polar ice caps melt and they find like some, you know, juicy natural resources under it or some shit and figure out a way to capture it, maybe then. But until then, you know, they're bitch made. Okay? And if Ukraine wants to join another sphere of influence, why should it not be able to do that? The sphere of influence is exclusively to like fucking flex Western imperialism. So it fucking frustrates me. Its existence frustrates me. It's literally a fucking...
Shout out to
look,
their families.
if you yourself call yourself a fucking leftist, okay? And you're like, oh, I'm a leftist. Like, I believe that like American imperialism needs to stop. You can't be fucking pro-NATO. If you understand that the American government is running a protection racket, okay, in the form of building fucking military bases all around the world, selling guns to all those countries, and then, you know, sometimes those guns have to be used, and then, oh, you use those guns against someone, and they got pissed, so now they're fucking fighting back. Well, then, now you need more guns, and you need more protection. If you recognize that as a leftist or as a progressive, okay, you can't just look back at moments throughout time when they've done it and be like, yeah, that was really fucked up 30 years later, but when it's happening right in front of your eyes, go, nah, actually it is good. It is good that they're doing it now. It was bad when they did it back then, but it's good now. It's not. It's not. NATO is a ridiculous fucking coalition. It's a completely ridiculous coalition, okay? Like, how the fuck are you gonna be a pro-NATO leftist, dude? Jesus Christ. same chatters who call us tankies are now cheering for war with Russia so predictable. Like, yeah, what's gonna happen? And like, I get it. It's very good. It's like very successful to like feel that way because you're like, well, the big bad wolf of Russia, that they're doing the bad things. Okay. Is the best way to fight back against the bad guys over there by being bigger bad guys over here? Really? Is that what you think?
10 months of knowing that I'm being exploited.
You're coming in as a baby leftist to one of the largest openly socialist fucking broadcasts in the world and caping for a fucking Western imperialist institution specifically designed and created to enact ideological warfare against any kind of fucking communist development around the world. What a strange world do we live in, like, where people are just like, I'm a fucking pro-NATO socialist. Like, what? Okay.
Yo,
sick.
what's up, Mr.
No,
Hasan?
I'm a pro-NATO socialist. That's why I think it's cool when, like, I don't know, like, fucking Norwegian and British forces are, like, also killing 14-year-olds in Afghanistan. We had to do that. That was a thing that had to happen, you know what I mean? So stupid. No, dude, guys, I fucking love NATO. It's sick. It's so important to do. Okay? I hope you know there are going to be 20-year-old foreign relations experts who will make 12 videos because of this take. Yeah, I don't care. I know. Every time I say anything about fucking foreign relations, like, they lose their shit. Here, let me do the fucking brief summary of that for him, okay? Here's the take. I am going to write a video essay about how bad this take is because Vladimir Putin is homophobic, he's horrible, he's authoritarian, he is jailing fucking protesters, all of which is true, by the way, okay? All of that's true. He arms the fucking Chechens, he 100% is like totally alarmed with some of the worst fucking authoritarian leaders, okay? Straight up, still, all of that is true, okay? And then in this entire conversation, I will be avoiding what America is doing. Like, while talking about what Russia is doing, I will be avoiding quite literally what America does, which is exactly what I'm talking about with Russia, but like at a 10x level globally, okay? And in areas where they have no business being in, at least Russia is doing it in their own fucking, you know, region. Whereas, which doesn't make it better, don't get me wrong, but it certainly is like more understandable than fucking America doing it in Ukraine, you know what I mean? It's not whataboutism. Like, the United States is significantly worse on all of these fucking issues. It's just so ridiculous. Like, if you think like, oh my god, Russian imperialism is happening, and then you totally fucking have like this major blind spot to like the American imperialist forces that are the only way to supposedly stop Russian imperialism from happening. I don't know what to fucking tell you. Anyway.
Prison is exactly like prison's hashtag I didn't read book guide.
Is this your Marx-Leninist arc? I mean, it's not. It's not my Marx-Leninist arc at all. I just think it's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous that, like... It's ridiculous that we, okay, as supposedly progressive individuals, comprehend, okay, that American imperialism is bad and wrong, but then, like, oh, but in a lot of instances, it's actually okay to do. Like, I have no business telling Russia what they can't do, because I can't stop that, okay? Here, I said it again. I will say it again. Don't invade Ukraine, please. Vladimir Putin, what are you doing? Okay? I care more about what we do. Because we are the most powerful country on the planet, okay? We're the most powerful country on the planet, and like what we are doing is so much worse than any other country. If you're crying and complaining about like what Russia might do to Ukraine, first of all, in like 90% of circumstances, unless you're like quite literally Ukrainian or something, okay? You just don't give a shit. You are conditioned into giving a shit about it, and that's the reason why you're talking about it non-fucking stop. Because every dumbass media outlet that you read is telling you like it's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. What's going on? We got to defend Ukraine. Anyway. Am I crazy, or do we used to call it the Ukraine? Just calling it Ukraine sounds weird to me. I hate these takes. Imperialism sucks no matter who it is. Nationalism, blinders suck. I'm gonna check out the stream later because this is frustratingly mind-numbing from the chatters. I mean, imperialism sucks no matter who it is, Desert Grizzly Arc, but like, I think a lot of people just don't understand that Russia wants to go back to like Cold War profiteering. Putin has been super open about how much better they did during that era. USC's money everywhere. They want to take money. Oh, you're not. I think a lot of people don't understand that to base our laws and okay. So I can't tell. I can't understand what you're saying. I thought you were gonna be like, no, but it's. Oh, the chat is numbing their brain. Yeah, it's just like. You said some days ago people have the same culture in the same country in Austria, Germany, South Korea, North. Why not Ukraine and Russia? What's the difference? I mean, people will get mad at me, but I don't, you know. Ukrainian here, it's basically a lose-lose situation no matter what for Ukraine, but people in general are terrified of Russia, especially those close to the border. I have family about 40 kilometers from the Russian border in Kharkov, so if there is an invasion, I don't think there will be one. Then they're basically the first in the danger zone, and that scares me. Why don't these people voice the same sentiments about Georgia's occupation? Because they don't give a shit. They don't care. It's what they are conditioned into caring about. Okay? And that's precisely why no one fucking talks about Saudi Arabia. Like, no one talks about Saudi Arabia. That's precisely why, like, whenever we're talking about fucking Ukrainian independence, like, it's just all centered around, like, how much America can help Ukraine. And all that help is just, you know, aiding and abetting and warmongering at the behest, like, that will risk Ukrainian lives, okay? So that what, Ukrainian politicians can get more fucking money by joining NATO and get more guns by joining NATO? Sick, dude. So stupid.
Okay.
So imperialist America shouldn't have stopped Nazi aggression into Europe? If you are making a comparison to what the Nazis did, like what Germany did to current modern day Russia, doing to Ukraine potentially, that hasn't happened yet, I don't know what to tell you. You are lost in the sauce so aggressively, okay? You're just a stupid person. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, straight up. Ukrainians don't even fucking agree with you, most likely, unless they're like bananas. Anyway, we're gonna look at the anti-vax rally now. The USSR did 70% of the work. Yeah, I know. By the way, they sold us that World War II shit in Iraq and Afghanistan. State Department getting a material challenge. They can't, because the American military is designed to get fucking owned, okay? It's a meat grinder that straight up kills a lot of young men and women, or fucks them up irreparably. That's the goal. America is not trying to win wars, okay? They're trying to get their fucking shit pushed in so they can have like these insane, unjustifiable 20-year, 30-year fucking conquests in countries that have natural resources that you can extract, okay, that you can control, where you can use the natural resources and all that instances to operate fucking, you know, JSOC operations that you wouldn't be able to fund otherwise with taxpayer dollars, because despite the fact that there's $35 fucking trillion missing from the Pentagon budget, even then it would be a little too much. It would be too easy to fucking figure out accountability on the accounting side if they were just straight up fucking arming every paramilitary death squad. Even though in Ukraine, we quite literally have actually armed paramilitary death squads like the Azov Battalion, which was comprised of Nazis. That's right. It was so fucked up that in our endless effort to make sure that Ukraine has autonomy, we funded actual Nazi troops in Ukraine. That's true. It's so true that the American government actually, which then posed with the Azov Battalion, okay, which went and like fucking Amy Klobuchar and you know, rest in peace John McCain, went and fucking hung out with the Azov Battalion, okay, took photos with them because, you know, that's our bipartisan compromise. We're always bipartisan when it comes to fucking, you know, arming other countries and like doing more war shit, okay? They said, oopsie, I know we gave them guns and training, And I know we fucking took photos with them, but actually, oopsie doopsie, we are going to now we're going to carve a specific piece of legislation where we're like, we're still going to give Ukraine guns, we're still going to train Ukrainians, but also this time we're going to fucking, not give it to the Nazis. That's an actual piece of legislation. For those of you who did not know, there's a piece of legislation that specifically dictates we will not be arming Nazis in Ukraine. So it's just stupid. Like, I don't know. But hey, dude, don't worry. 30 years from now, there will be another fucking Hasan Abi, okay? A Zoomer. Talking about how fucked up it was that, like, we just let Nazis fucking take control of the Ukrainian military and which the Azov battalion was integrated into. And that now, like, you know, those countries are all way worse overall. And now we just have, like, ongoing proxy wars in all of these other fucking countries, and how fucked up that is, because, like, now in the United States of America, there's a new fucking variant at this point, 30 years in, of COVID that immediately kills you. So now the military is parading in the fucking streets and shooting you on sight if you're coughing, because guess what? You'll never get health care. We're never gonna actually do anything to fucking deal with another kind of pandemic or anything like that. So that's the only way to deal with it. And there will be a Hasan Abi out there, okay, 30 years from now, talking about how fucking crazy that was. That we should have known better, given all of the international relations and all the conflicts that we fucked up for so many years. Okay, they're starting already. You have no clue what you're talking about. Being brave means knowing when you fail, you don't fail forever. Lana Del Rey, what the fuck?
How about Ukraine, some bitches?
You have no clue what you are talking about. You're right, dude. I want to leave foreign policy up to the I'm Ukrainian, happy to see big guns from the USA. Otherwise, we will get invaded. Wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about. Yes, dude. I love when people come in here, okay, and they just never have ever written anything in the chat. But as soon as I talk about foreign policy, they're like, you're just wrong. I will not elaborate. First of all, the U.S. Army or the government doesn't give a fuck about Ukraine. That doesn't make Putin's hard on for annexing foreign territory permissible. Okay, fine. We're in agreement.
I hope you all have a great day. Hassel.
Anyway.
15 months.
Also, Russia being a superpower in full decline with nukes is still an uneasy situation, but I agree intervention is not ideal. I don't know what kind of appeasement. I don't know if a kind of appeasement is ideal either. No, appeasement is the ideal. What do you mean?
Love you.
You really shouldn't talk about Ukraine. Your take is really dumb. As soon as I start reading the negative chatters, it's like, again, never has said nothing. What the fuck? Russian imperialism, Hasan, you're too deep in this shit. You're disconnected from reality. It takes your argument and it's dumb, but your take is also dumb. It's two dumb takes. You should read up on the European perspective of it. Yeah, dude, I should read up on more fucking pro-NATO arguments, dude. It's actually really chill. No, for sure. I absolutely love being like, yeah, it was really fucked up that we like armed these fucking groups and that we kept on trying to like an egg on war in different parts of the world. And then oopsie daisy, like we had to go into war with yet another fucking superpower in the world because like there was no other way to do it. I love talking about fucking how we have 300 goddamn military bases that we know of in every fucking country where they don't actually want us to be there. I love understanding that the American military industrial complex is simply a protection racket, okay? And I love that NATO is straight up an extension of that, okay? Exclusively created to do Western imperialism, and then turning around and being like, I have all of this knowledge, but also what Russia's doing is really fucked up, so we should continue doing what we've been doing. Yeah, let me read up more about like the same exact propaganda that everyone has seen a million times over while I'm trying to counter it as best as possible. I feel like you're avoiding the actual issue here. What is the actual issue?
Hassle.
Well, the actual issue is what? Ukrainian independence? Is that what you're gonna tell me? You think Ukrainian independence is gonna be achieved by Americans supporting Ukraine? Like, what are you, fucking stupid?
Joe Byron subscribed for 15 months.
It's been a long time for your Eastern European countries that Russia will still want their old Soviet bloc back. This has also been happening for decades. This has always been predictable. I think they will invade to get their Russians back who escaped to Ukraine. I know. I see that. Okay, join NATO then. See how well that'll pay. That will be for everybody else. Chat will spam ACAB one day and then hype up a terrorist organization that is NATO. Yeah, just say you don't give a fuck about what NATO and imperialism does to the third world. Yeah, no, it's just like, you know.
Nine-month sub-brain rot incoming.
Just let Russia join NATO like they proposed if NATO is not aligned against Russia. Yeah, it's just so fucking wild. Like, it's just a wild take. What's wrong with giving the Ukraine government guns if it prevents a war? What? When has that prevented a war, dude? Are you fucking stupid? Dude, this guy, are you working for the CIA? What's going on right now? I got like chatters in here being like, what's wrong with giving people more guns to prevent a war? Like, that's a thing that always happens. If dudes wrote essays for school instead of Twitch chat, they'd be making money and having bitches instead of being here right now. No, like, bro, if you're gonna fucking do like, you know, if you're gonna do, you know, American State Department propaganda, don't do it for free in here. Like, go to Yale, okay, study up, write the essays that you're writing in the chat, but for your, like, you know, admissions, get into Yale. The CIA will quite literally come to you and say, hey, yeah, you know, you seem to be a neurodivergent minor with anxiety and a litany of other like mental health complications. You're perfect. Come join us. You know, we love that shit in the CIA now. This is us. This is the CIA now. Come join us. And then quite literally do this for money. Like, you're doing it for free right now. You might as well get paid for it. What the fuck?
Almost 2 years living with brain rot.
Anyway, I mean, this is the same energy as chat being like, no, Havana syndrome is serious. Havana syndrome is a serious issue. You are not allowing CIA operatives to do bodies in spaces. It's their personal experience that you need to fucking, you know, respect and appreciate. It's like, okay, dude, you know, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I think it's bullshit, and it was bullshit, and I was fucking right. Okay? What would your stance be on America entering World War II? Genuine question. Are you always pro appeasement? No. But there is a difference, dude. Like, there's a difference between like, there's a difference between a world superpower that has like a competitive enough, a competitive amount of fucking, like actual, a competitive amount of actual power that they are enacting already on top of like every other country. Also, the fuck do you mean? It's not like the United States is the reason why World War II ended. It was the fucking USSR. The only reason why there have been a fuckload more wars since the 1940s, but you constantly go back to that, is because that's the one time where we have like an actual normative position on it, okay? Every other one, we took the fucking fattest of L's. We've been riding the wave of World War II since World War II, motherfucker. Everything we've done in the aftermath of World War II has been dog shit. Every single part of it, okay? Literally every single fucking part of it.